Alright, a wonderful good day everybody and welcome back here to my channel. This weekend I do have a little bit more time and so I can actually record a second video here. And last night I didn't really sleep well, and therefore I started playing a league at like 2 or 3 a.m. With this exact 75 that you see on your screen right now. So Croxa as a 2-off and Liliana Last Hope, and I 5-0'd that league as well, beating a wide variety of decks, humans, mill, green red titan, Esper control, so basically everything that the modern format can throw at you. So the list will be up on Tuesday, I think, in the 5-0 dumps, but I already wanted to talk about it here. The main board shouldn't be surprising, except for not having Seasoned Pyromancer, which I want to like, but most of the time it just doesn't do what I want it to do, and therefore I just went with our Nimble Obstructionist Brazen Borer plan, and that's also very nice with Liliana, of course, because we can also rebuy them, and Liliana can keep the air clean or clear for our Air Force here. Then Flusterstorm was actually great in a couple of matches where I tricked my opponent into playing like 2 or 3 counter spells. I think against Mill that was the case. With one Flusterstorm I got an Archive Trap, a Fatal Push and a counter spell in one stack, and yeah, so I like that one. Alpine Moon and Ashiok. Ashiok probably the best option against all the ramp decks, because mostly the Titan decks cannot really deal with Ashiok. And you can also go, like, the longer the game goes, the more of a win condition Ashiok becomes, especially of course with Jace's Prodigy, which in this iteration we're not playing, but that's what I wanted to do now. So just to have a comparison here, we're also going to go the other way, have a Mystic Sanctuary in here to fetch up. Actually, let's have 2 in here to fetch up. And just a lot of instant speed, and Jace's Prodigy is back in here. I cut the Thought Scours, so we have both types here next to each other and can talk about the advantages and disadvantages of each. Of course, here the sideboard was slightly different because here we are a little weaker to aggressive decks due to the fact, especially once they're playing Cavern of Souls. What's really surprising to me right now is that there is 0 Tron and 0 Eldrazi Tron, at least as far as I can see it, both in my own leagues and in leagues that I'm watching from other creators. Because in my opinion, both decks should be positioned pretty well. There's a lot of mid-range running around, not a whole lot of burn or mono-red prowess, and therefore, yeah, shouldn't be too many bad matchups right now. Of course, the Titan games can be difficult, especially the green-red Valakut Titan decks. But even there, I guess one can pivot to beat them. Taking a little longer here to actually find an opponent, although it is Sunday, and usually on Sunday a lot of people are playing. Alright, Masa Wizard. Yeah, I cannot keep that. Sadly. Slightly better. Keep. So I'm gonna ditch the Mystic Sanctuary. On the one hand, I don't really need it right now, because it's pretty slow and doesn't do anything. On the other hand, I want something to do, or I want to be able to fetch it up at some point. Wood Foothills. Alright. Probably Escape Shift. Yep. So sadly, actually a couple of things are pretty sad here. Since we're not on the play, I won't get Nimble Obstructionist online fast enough to stop the search for tomorrow there. Let me put that to the bottom. So I'm just going with the Scalding Tarn here in order to thin my deck a little, although of course that's not great with Mystic Sanctuary. And to also Dryad. No, not just yet. Alright, so now we can at least stop that Sakura tribe. Let me see if they play the land. Don't think so, right? No. So no more lands in hand, so I actively want to stop that Tribe Elder from getting a land. Yeah, should be fine, because this turn I want to use the Nimble, and then next turn I go with another blue, shock that one, and then go Mystic Sanctuary and the Cryptic Command back. And there's a Valakut. Alright, does that change things? This is the 5th, and you probably just drew that one. But I think I'm still gonna play it here. Alright, double cryptic is actually pretty nice, because together we can basically now counter anything for the rest of the game, as long as they're playing one thing a turn. Alright, so that's the 5th mountain, I guess. But as I said, I don't think that they do have another land in hand unless they just drew one. Counter draw. Brazen Borer is also a good pickup. Okay, just draw lands. I guess that's fine. So we're putting a cryptic command back on top. If he doesn't do anything, then we can go into the offensive. Well, Colony Horde Expedition is problematic, but we can also just bounce it back. Alright, so it doesn't have anything. What does make sense here? Probably petty thefting and just playing it out, because I can't play the Brazen Bora and have Snapcaster Mage make a whole lot of sense there. Colony Horde Expedition is... so I expect him to have a Scapeshift in hand here as his other card. Yep. And I really want to have or find a... it needs 3, yeah. 3 quest counters. One, two, three, four. 1, 2, 3, 4. So another Scapeshift could be problematic. Therefore, I would really like to find a K command. Also because we could at that point counter the Colony Horde trigger. I guess I need to put the Snapcaster Mage on top. To further pressure him. And I'm also gonna shock here to have Cryptic up, which I'm pretty certain I'm gonna use this turn, and snap something. Alright, so I'm gonna bounce the Colony Horde Expedition here. Really can't have it do anything. And of course, he does know that we have a Cryptic command in hand, therefore I want to get rid of that. One K command should already be enough to close this game out. That doesn't seem helpful, and Archmage Charm is actually a pretty good one. Scalding Torrent, of course, as well, just because we can't put Cryptics back on top, or Archmage Charms, depending on what we want to do. Yep. We could counter this, I guess, since we do have can put the Cryptic back on top anyway. Can't draw. Yep, he did have escape shift, of course, but he knew that he was gonna run into a Cryptic here. and therefore the play pattern was a little bit awkward, but I guess there was not going to be a better time, potentially. But we still need to find some sort of, not a terminate, not a Thoughtseize as well. I really just want to find, well, Tarpid is alright. So he needs to have a land here. That is a pretty good one. Now we could actually die next turn. If he draws another land off the top. Okay. Although he won't be able to fetch, so that is also pretty good. So let's activate here. I should have probably with the second cryptic just bounced the Mystic Sanctuary, but at this point we're already so far ahead. And I also did have so I could have taken the thing with the Thoughtseize, but it's not too important. Should not do anything anymore. Alright. So Ashiok and Fulminator Mage are a thing. And partially I also assume that I think I'm gonna, whoops. I think I'm gonna cut Brazen Borer and I should either cut the Drowned Loch or the Terminates. Yeah. Last league, of course, I did have an Alpine Moon as well. To really get going with things. Alright. So on the, well, calling out Expedition against Ashiok, of course, isn't great. Well, but he can already, yeah. It's possible that we're just a turn too late here. Yeah, probably. So the good thing is with Ashok, we're basically forcing him to do something right now. And he doesn't have a Valakut in on the battlefield yet. And we also don't know if he does have a Titan. So we should be able to deal with the Dryad at some point. Oops. pretty gay. Okay. So he's... Alright. So this means probably that there is indeed no Titan whatsoever. And I would assume that there is some sort of Veil of Summer. I definitely want to have that one. So I don't yet see a good use for Fulminate Damage, therefore I'm just gonna pass the turn. And Archmage's Charm by the end of turn, I think. To find a solution for that Gate Riot. Alright. So this means that we can at least stifle it for one turn. And apparently... So let's see. We could, of course, let's say he's just got one Veil of Summer, right? Then our best play would probably be Thought Seizing him. He plays Veil. I respond by counter, bounce the Dryad. Then we can get rid of the Dryad, and that's not a big deal anymore. But if he does have two Veils of Summer, then we really have a problem here. Let's try it. Actually, can we bait him? Can we bait him doing something? No, not really. Of course, if he does have a second Veil, then I'm losing everything. Just at once. Counter and return. Alright, so Dryad, Scapeshift, Summoner's Pact, yeah. Let's get rid of this one. And now if he doesn't draw something really good here off the top, like a Titan or a Dryad. Okay, so Fulminator will keep him away for one more turn. So that again gets a nimble down. It's really the most important thing for him here, just getting that Ashok off the battlefield or drawing a Embolakut. Yeah, drawing Bolakut would probably be really, really good because it does see itself. Alright, Mountain has been played. I'm gonna cast this thing first. My goodness. Alright, so what's the play here? I think the play is attack with nimble. Put cryptic back on top. Okay, and yes. Draw 2 cards. And then tap draw. Could of course also bounce draw. That would open us up to another Veil of Summer, of course, but alright. Cool. So now, if I played this Polluted Delta, go attacking with the Nimble, then what I can do is flash in the other Nimble, block the Dryads, go Kolaghan's command, kill the Dryad, get the Nimble back, play the Nimble. Be happy about it. Cast. And oh, whoops. There's end of combat. Good. So I want to do that before he gets into the second main phase, of course. Return and let's fetch first. And we still have a logic node up, just in case he has a Veil of Summer or something else that's really annoying here. We know that at least 3 cards in his hand are dead. And he also can play the Titan, because he doesn't have another green mana source here, therefore I wanted to get rid of the Dryad here. Cryptic. So is it worth it? No, probably not, right? Because next turn I got lethal anyway. So 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. Yeah, let's be cocky about it. So next turn I got enough damage to just straight up kill him. Explore. Yeah, Explorer isn't anything that I'm concerned with or about. Because even if he did hit a Valakut here, he only has 5 mountains, he would need a 6th. And I could counter that trigger with my Nimble, or just bounce my other Nimble back to hands. Alright, there's a mountain, but you dead. If you're dead and you know it, clap your hands. Actually, let's say he has a bolt, but then he would just go after my Astro, right? No. Don't fuck with me, man. Don't fuck with me. Alright. Green-red Titan just not good enough for us. See you in round number 2. Right, welcome back here to the second round. of today's Grixis video. Ashok just won us the second game there. Would have been difficult otherwise. And also, since Veil of Summer is such a prevalent card in green decks, I would also pivot towards playing either Molten Rain or Pillage instead of Fulminated Mage. Especially when playing Jace's Prodigy. This is an awkward hand. With a land, it's pretty good. Reasonable at least. Without a land though, we are running out of things to do pretty quickly. So upkeep, I'm gonna place. Just gonna play it now. If this is a Blue Moon deck, then we need even more. Okay. Whites. Hitting himself with Thought Scour, why would he do that? Timely reinforcements. So I think it's easier for us to actually kill our own Snapcaster. Yeah, alright. So we're not drawing anything here that is of any help whatsoever. My goodness. Alright. So I didn't do this before because I didn't want it to get countered. So it's probably just gonna be an opt. Okay, so apparently he doesn't have, either he doesn't have any removal or he's just not willing to spend it here on our Snapcaster, which I guess is reasonable. It's most probably getting countered. I think I'm fine for right now with the stalemate. should be able to get a 2-for-1 out of that Mississippi rainforest, and even if he were to play still nothing, eh? Alright. So I could bolt the Snapcaster Mage here, but I actually... Something's a little weird here. I feel like I want to counter this. Alright, he was putting the timely reinforcements back. Jeez. Yep, was to be expected that something was gonna happen. So you put a card on the bottom. He does have Force of Negation in hand, therefore... Alright, does have a logic node, which is interesting. Gonna put that to the top as well. Alright, he's drawing 3 cards. Next turn I am able to either have double counterspell though. Or have a Snapcaster Mage. So he needs a removal for the Brazen Borra. Sure. So I assume that he does have at least two ways of coping with this. So I'm gonna let this resolve. So now we have to hope that his last card in hand is not gonna be able to ditch to force. Alright. Now this is a problem. Oh yeah, it's definitely gonna be a problem. Large node on top. Yep. I'm gonna choose to fight on his upkeep. Bounce this first. Four, five. It's of course very possible that he does have additional stuff to do here. On the upside though, it's probably not going to be able to stop the torpid unless he finds something off the top with the Jace. Yeah, search is pretty good as well. So we know that our opponent does have multiple counter spells. Don't think that we can get out of this. Yeah. Alright, definitely want to have Fluster Storm. Gonna cut these and you get Fulminator Mages in. I think I'm gonna cut one K command. Yep. This way we have good distribution. Alright, that's a decent hand. I thought Scour is definitely weird in the deck. I mean, I get it because of Mystic Sanctuary, but still. So I'm not gonna do it this turn with the Thoughtseize. I'll want him to cycle a little bit first, set things up. Also negation and not. Didn't know about that one. Alright, let's see. First I'm gonna go with Inquisition. Well, that's not a whole lot. So I think it's fine going with the Tar Pit here, since we can't bolt a potential Norset or whatever. Put card on the bottom. Alright, so I'm gonna target him with a Tar Pit here. Not with the Tar Pit, with the mana of Tar Pit. Because obviously that's what he's gonna go after. Teferi is gone, which is one of his main win conditions, and once he uses that, so he's gonna put something back on top, I assume. We do also have Mystic Sanctuary up, of course. So once he kills the Tar Pit, I'm gonna go Sanctuary, put probably a Thoughtseize or Inquisition or whatever back on top. And need to go for an island. And then now obviously I don't want to show it, but I also don't want to be running into a counter spell, and therefore I'm gonna play the snap, target not. Should have done that with the Water Grave instead of the Steamens though. Okay. Nope. So now the question becomes, do I actually want to put it up on top? Don't think so. Lost a little bit track of whatever's going on here. Think nope, just fine. Of course it's not an Archmage Charm. And he might, yeah. Sure. That's fine with me as well. The op wasn't too important. So I think I'm just gonna go very aggressive here. Could be running into a potential timely reinforcements, of course, but I guess that he boarded out the termini. Alright. And now we know that he at least has 2 more lands in hand. That was awkward, but it's fine, I guess. So forming a mage on the draw I actually don't want. I also haven't seen any colonnades whatsoever up until now. And I think if we can get the Ashok down, that would actually be a huge deal. Oh, let's keep that. So obviously, if there's gonna be a turn to search for Scanta, of which I assume he's just playing one, that would have been really bad. Let's put that to the bottom. Find lands. Lands are good. So I'm really on the fence here. I've seen Logic Knot, but I haven't seen any other counterspell that could do anything against the Jace here. So of course, Logic Knot into Teferi would be horrible. But if he doesn't have a follow-up play, then the Nimble is going to be good here, I think. This man is a little awkward. So I want to keep the Lightning Bolt to a certain degree. So kind of expect something happening. Sure. Snap isn't bad either. Snap ain't bad. Alright, let's wait for his turn, then upkeep, go, Lightning Bolt the Snapcaster, because we don't really have an awesome play here anyway. That ain't great either. Okay, so he auto-toggled here, which means he doesn't have a play. I'm gonna go with Watery Rave, shot myself. That's very expensive in terms of life, of course, but also kind of fine. He's probably gonna field here. Okay. Never mind. Has to. Oh. So we could counter, but I don't see us having a follow-up against the Jace, for instance. Therefore, I'm just gonna let this resolve. And yeah, just grab another island, since we're pretty heavy on that. Alright. A logic knot. So I'm gonna go end of turn nimble here. Last time's... yeah, didn't think so. So we know what's coming off the top, therefore I'm gonna counter stuff here. The logic knot that's there doesn't do anything. By itself, at least. This way, of course, it does. Huh. So he could choose to bounce our nimble, of course. But I think we're choosing to bounce his Jace as well. So let's see what he does. He's probably, I don't know, he probably just grabs the lands, sets up his straw. No, he isn't. He isn't doing that. Then we have to do it a different way here. And this way he's also has to draw something big here. And did so. No. Well, partially. So let's go with Thoughtseize again. Deprive and opt. Yeah, I guess I need to get Deprive here. There comes Jace. Couldn't have known that. That was quite fortunate. But now we're going onto the offensive here. Yep. Put a card on the bottom. I think I'm gonna pick my fight here. If he does have a counter spell, which he doesn't. Just gonna go with a lightning bolt. Yeah. Alright, good games, opponents, and another victory for us. Alright, welcome back to round number 3, everybody. It's so sad that I don't have the time to play as much as most of these other people here. So yeah, why are there two versions? So on the one hand, of course, I just wanted to point out strength and weaknesses of both. On the other hand, I think that the Croxa build is way more resilient to... Let's keep... Yeah, let's keep. Creeping Tar Pit gives us a little bit of something to do. Should we not draw into anything? And for the most part, where's the swamp? There's the swamp. Alright. Once upon a time. This is not good. This is definitely not good. So I probably have to go after the company here. It's got a couple of mana birds, mana dorks. Probably also gonna play one of those. Right. That's what I feared I would draw. There was like one drawback to going with the swamp there over a watery grave. That's strange. I think I would have always gone with a... But our draws haven't turned like super awkward, super punishing. So he's got 4 mana, I can't counter this, and then once he's playing the Selfless Spirit, he's gonna sack the Mausoleum Wanderer, which of course to me is basically the same. This is not the same though. Yeah, and at this point, I don't think that we're gonna get there. Do have a couple of good sideboard options. Sadly, there's no Plague Engineer. Why is there no Plague Engineer? Mostly because there are very few tribal decks right now, and Plague Engineer is basically bad against anything non-tribal. So I think we just have to try and tap draw into some like a lightning bolt or something. But at this point it's really gonna be difficult because we have to tap draw here. Yeah. Okay. He's gonna play the Selfless Spirit, and that probably does it. Okay. So one have this, one have this, one have this. Our flyers are good as well. Armage's Charm can have its spots. I think that I'm gonna get rid of the cryptics here. Probably of one Thoughtseize. And oh, two Thoughtseizes. Alright. So I'm gonna start off with a Torpid here. I'm gonna kill most likely whatever's coming down, because I need to get ahead and get those Archmage's Charms to use. Okay, that is fortunate. This way I don't have to waste Archmage's Charms. Terminate. Okay, just passing the turn probably means that he does have some sort of... that is too much again. That is just too much. I would assume that he does have... Okay, he doesn't. So he hasn't seen a counterspell yet from us. Selfless Spirit. I think I'm just gonna counter, attempt to counter. He's gonna sack the Mausoleum Wanderer, sure. Does it do anything? Selfless Spirit by itself doesn't do anything. Sure, it's annoying. Actually, I think I would rather get rid of the Mausoleum Wanderer than of the Selfless Spirit, because the Wanderer can actually be pretty nasty, especially drone is pretty good. Okay, so I guess gonna go play this tapped. Pass the turn. Fuck this shit. Fuck this shit. I mean, countering this doesn't make a whole lot of sense, because okay, that's weird. So 2 Wanderers, which of course by itself is fine. I think I'm gonna draw 2. Then put the lightning bolt back on top. That's also pretty good though. Yeah. Because the Jace ticks up on Mausoleum Wanderer, which is just lethal in that sense. I can't fetch for a second red source next turn as well, so that I have Terminate and Lightning Bolt, or Terminate and something else. Sure. Of course, Company. Eidolon is also very, very, very annoying. So we need to get rid of the Drogskull Captain, and we're also taking 8. Okay. I guess. So sadly I have to get rid of the Grim Lavamancer here. I can't play it this turn anyway. So I'm gonna try to kill the Eidolon here. Or should I go after the Wanderer actually? That will prevent him from casting multiple things here as well. Yep. And now I can just cycle this to prevent him from drawing an additional card. Okay. Fuck. Fuck, fuck, fuck. Yeah, I think I'm gonna terminate. Oops. Play Jace, because the other card in his hand is either nothing or very, very little. Then we can kill something else with the Jace next turn. And flip the other Jace. I don't know why people are actually conceding so early here all the time. Like last game as well. It's not like they have lost or anything. So on the draw, I actually inclined to include the Thoughtseizes again. Yeah, I think we need to include the Thoughtseizes. That leaves us very little in terms of counter magic, but okay. Wanderer. Okay. So now we have 2 removal spells. Turn 2, which I desperately needed. I think I want to have double black. Just in case. And he's likely just to play 1 card next turn, like 1 creature. Therefore, if I go with the Lavamancer here, I'll have a double removal spell next turn as well, unless... No, I'm gonna do this first. And I did it this... Oh shit. Yeah, of course. It's just so far off. With my thoughts here. Alright, let's see here what he actually does. If I play Snap. See, and this is not good. This is not good, I think. I mean, our Snap doesn't do anything anyway. As of right now. So I think I'm gonna wait for our turn. Have a look. Alright. Then kill this. Alright. Have the Snap enter the battlefield. Go opt. Hopefully find a land. That's impossible. Alright, 3 mana, some Lord, which is fine, of course. This one comes in tapped. I'm not sure. I should probably just terminate things. I think the main way to lose this year would actually be to run into a brutality. So again, this tapped. And I'm gonna kill the Noble Hierarch as well. That way we have a decent clock on the battlefield, and like if he's cycling through his lands. Ah, there's a company. Okay. Well, that is not a big deal. And I already know that his next card in hand is just a land, and therefore nothing to worry about. And that Mausoleum Wanderer also doesn't do a whole lot right now. Sure. We're a little heavy on the red, but otherwise I think, yeah. another land. Don't think there's anything that our opponent can do. I'm just gonna attack here with both for 3. Next turn we have lethal if he fetches. Also, I could bold here, then just go Grim Lavamancer and kill him that way. But as I said, I don't he can't have a whole lot, therefore this is fine. Sure. Let's wait till draw step then, and kill it now. Draw something else. Yeah, all of this is so awkward. That didn't turn out great for our opponent. I made a little mistake here with how I fetched up things. Actually, no, I fetched the Blood Crypt. We're just a little unlucky that we found our second red source so late. But there was one turn where I actually was 2 steps ahead of myself, and then I forgot that I actually wanted to keep black open and use red, and just didn't. But anyhow, let's go to round number 4. Right, welcome back to round number 4, and up until now, I know, so last league, when did we lose the one game there? I think it was like the second or third. I think the last 10 games were unbeaten, basically. And I like this build if there's not a whole lot of jaunt mid-range or like tribal strategies like spirits and humans. I think this build is very, very fine because you have a higher chance of beating big mana with this. You're pretty good against control decks. You're also pretty good against mid-range decks that are not landing a Renin 6 on turn 2. Reasonable. Another thing about Coxa is, of course, now we're playing against Jund. That is not cool. So I guess I could go Polluted Delta here as well. There we go. Goif, Decay, Fail Push. Okay, we can handle the Goif, that's not a big deal. What we cannot handle is the Ren 6. So if you place the Goif here, So it's a 3-4. Come on, man. Enough with the lands. I'm gonna take the 3 and look what he's up to. Although, basically all... Nah. I'm just gonna kill the Goyf. Because I don't have a good way of getting rid of the Goyf afterwards. And despite being very annoying, even if he does have a Ren 6 or a Liliana, he doesn't have a whole lot of mana issues here. Alright. So I think we need to discard the Blood Crypt here so I can go. And put the Archmage Charm back on top next turn. Although, is that even necessary? This needs to be a Steam Event, right? So that this can be a Sanctuary. So Kroxa is going to be at most annoying. And I think I need to discard the Watery Grave. Although it costs me a little bit of life. Really want to have the Archmage Charm back on top. So that I can go Snapcaster, Drownloch, the Kroxa, should it come up. But apparently that's something for next turn. So I'm gonna discard my Snapcaster. Lord. That was a good trade though. Blood Braids. Of course though, with the Kroxa, we will have some problems for the foreseeable future. So the good thing is that Journal Log is still active even after Croxa. Then we put Liliana down to 3. So 6 cards leave the graveyard, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes. Then he's got 3 cards in the graveyard plus Croxa himself. So currently cannot cast Croxa. Might be able to get a mountain to get a lightning bolt here. Kill Liliana and have that off my chest. Now I need to hope that he does not have something to put into the graveyard for 1 or less mana. Because if I get to untap and have the Augmented Charm and Kolaghan's Command up for turn, okay. Yes. Okay. This means that I can counter Croxa again and put Augmented Charm back on top again. Yeah, and this is not good. Fuck. Fuck, 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 fuck. That is fucking lucky. Shit. Yeah, I gotta draw 2 cards. Hope that we're drawing a removal spell. The chances are not too bad, yeah, I was gonna say. And even if he takes the Terminate here, which he should, then I can still just put it back on top. Still rather annoying to slog through all of this. Now I'm discarding the Kolaghan's Command. I think we need to, like, Grixis Jailer doesn't make a whole lot of sense to bring in. And we still got a couple of really good cards in our deck as well. Any Cryptic, any Snapcaster Mage. And this time around it will take a little bit of time till he has 4 more cards in his graveyard. Ah, you got to be kidding me, man. So protection's gone. Now I need a Snapcaster. Then I can finish this. Cryptic is also fine. And actually anything but a land is fine, I think. JSVP would be alright. Wouldn't be great. Okay. Our opponent's also playing insanely slow. I think I need to keep this. Opponent's down to 5 if he doesn't draw something good here. He dead. Okay. Still not enough for Croxa. So now Colligan's command is good, Cryptic command is good, Snapcaster Mage is good. Yep, great. So Ashiok. Yes, Ashiok's coming in. Of course, that Ashiok makes our drawing a lot worse, but that's something that we have to accept right now. I'm gonna get rid of Jace as well, and then Brazen Bora. Not super sure of. Does have its spots. I'm also questioning how much that Lightning Bolt's really worth. Alright, let's cut this as well and go with this. Because Croxa is really bad if Akalitas is on the battlefield. Shit. Tons and tons of value, but I think up until that moment we just lost the game. So we're gonna keep this and pitch that. I think 3 Crux activations there, actually. I'm gonna start off with the Scalding Tarn, because we should be able to get a Goyf. Should that be his second turn play. Goyf and Door Confident is also on the rise in John's decks again. Of course, against John, I would love to have my own Croxa, so here, actually a drawback not playing it. And as always, I'm basically happy with anything but Ren and 6. I hate this card so fucking much. So fucking much. That's so fucking bad designed. Some people at Watts you really have to, I don't know, do something else with their lives. So I need to keep the logic knot up, although of course I want to go after the Ren and 6 as well. Let's go. Let's take the sure kill of the Ren and 6 over other options here. So I'm inclined to get rid of the Sanctuary. Because that won't be coming in untapped anyway, so. Yep. So fuck this shit. Most fucking annoying card. Bloodbraid. Or Goif. Second Goif. That's not good. This is alright though. I mean, this is not. So Planeswalker goes, but anything else, everything else is in our graveyard. So this is gonna be a 2/4, and if we take down the Ashok, that's gonna be bad as well. So I could Archmage's Charm, just draw 2 cards, 2 Snapcasters. It's just amazing. Yeah. And this is just being on the back foot. Like, the other way around this game, even on the mulligan, if we start there with the same hand, we win 100%. 100%. Do I need more options? Do not think so. Oh. We're gonna run it back. I think we're doing good in terms of value. Of course I could cut down like Cryptic or 2. Alright, Ashok is actually a good one. I'm gonna shock here just as a bluffing motion. So this time around I actually hope that he does play Ren 6. Although a Goth wouldn't be too bad either. Alright, there's Ren and Big Bitch again. but the wooded foothills without a decay or something else to follow things up here. That's not really gonna help him. Okay. So Mystic Sanctuary gives us the ability to go with Cryptic Command next turn, but we cannot unless he has a Liliana here and we ditch Kolaghan's Command or something. Although I wouldn't really want to have it back on top. So Peatlands. Okay. So Ren and Bitch could be taken down, of course, but that would open him up to, yeah, a Lightning Bolt, which of course he doesn't want to do. So the most mana efficient play here is of course going with Kolaghan's Command, killing the Dark Confidant. Actually, I think that's also the best option, just due to the fact that if I draw another land off the top, then I have Cryptic and something. I expected that to happen. That's why I didn't take it down yet. So I actually actively want the Ren and 6 to take down twice here on Ashiok. Because then I'll be able to bolt it. And Ashiok has already done its due. Should not have a Bloodbraid Elf. So it's just a Liliana. Oh, his own Ashiok. Sure. Fail push, Inquisition, whatever. So if he wants to kill Ashiok, he has to take down the Ren and 6 again, and I think the greed is gonna lead him to that decision. Yes. Which gives me a turn which I can go and produce some card advantage here. So I think I'm just gonna go after that one first. Did not take down the Ashiok anymore. So reminder to myself not to actually crack the fetch. Although that will be very much against habit. K command, Armitage Charm, Inquisition. Okay. So obviously I would like to get the Kalitas down at some point. Ashiok certainly not a good sideboard card for our opponent. For us it made more sense because of Kroxa, because of Tarmogoyf, because of Renin 6. For him it's basically... Oh, there's another Renin bitch. Alright, get out of here, bitch. Logic not super great. But as long as he's not utilizing that Ashiok anymore, especially with the polluted delta on the field, I'm kinda okay with that. So we have the tools to get the Ashiok off the battlefield. We just need to wait a second. Play our cards right. We're paying for the peatland. No, it's a K command. Yeah, I think the easiest way for me to do stuff here is just to go with Ashiok for 1. This way I keep everything alive. And also still have Adrenal Lock up. Since I do not assume that he's going after his own graveyard there. Because that would be weird, right? Yep. Thought he's gonna be going after our drone Loch anyway, and therefore I'm just gonna go preemptively counter this, because I don't want him to know that we don't have a lightning bolt. And if he doesn't have any plays here, which I hope. Alright, let's keep that. So this turn, I'm trying to not act with or against anything, so that I can use both Kolaghan's commands. Okay, good. Because that will allow me to put the Cryptic back on top and fetch. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Not this turn though. I assumed so. Okay. Still fine. And that is also a decent roll. So now we're firmly in the driver's seat here. Just need to survive this next turn and also evade a Kroxa. Because that would be really backbreaking here. Good. Alright, motherfucker, alright. This of course means that I probably want to go for a logic node, right? So this is just going to be a watery grave. I could also go with the blood crypt though. Let's go with the blood crypt here. And then this has to be a logic node, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. So I need to protect the Kalitas for one turn, and afterwards I have Snapcaster up again with 6 mana, so that's fine. I'm just gonna go with a logic node. Alright, so now Croxa isn't a thing anymore, which is great. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I think I'm gonna let this resolve. Since we do have 6, I'm just gonna go drown this thing. Have multiple ways of. Oh shit, yeah. No. Thought we could get another Mystic Sanctuary, but that's of course not the case. Only playing 2. And now we have a very good ground force. We do have protection. And yeah, it will take our opponent a lot to get out of this. Doesn't even matter. Like, it will probably just tick up, so I'm still gonna counter it. Four, 5. And then we're attacking for 7 this turn. Thoughtseize, that is not the best. But our opponent has also only played 1. Discard spell up until now, so he should actually also have the worst top decks here. Correct. Alright, great. 4-0, what's up? See you around number 5. Alright, one more round to go here. And maybe, don't want to jinx it, but maybe we are going to be able to go back on back 5-0s. But we shall see. Okay, that's not going to be it. Slightly better, although also not great. So let's get rid of bolts. Then I'm gonna go start with the Mystic Sanctuary and keep the Polluted Delta in hand, so that turn 2 we do have both options, and this might be a mid-range deck. No. Inquisition ain't good for us. So it's Maru something, most likely. And I think due to the opt, we're gonna go with the mountain here. Probably just playing Stoneforge Mystic. The Brazen Boras are really bad here. If our opponent is playing Lingering Souls. I think he had a turn to play there, some sort of creature, but decided to not bring it in. I'm gonna start off with the Brazen Bora to bait removal. And then I can work myself up. Yeah, alright, Lingering Souls, great. Yeah, this is absolutely horrible. Like, with the other here, with the Croxa build, I think we would crush him. But with this build, with Brazen Bora actually being in the mix, I think this is not going to be great. So I'm anticipating that my Jace is definitely going to die. Question is if we get a land out of it. So I think the Thoughtseize is meant to protect whatever creature he's still keeping in hand. Cryptic Command at least gives us a little bit of wiggle room against the Lingering Souls. Blood Moon. Interesting as well. Yeah, this is not working out great. See some Pyromancer as well. He's attacking? He discarded an Inquisition and a Lightning Bolt. And apparently didn't draw any lands. I mean, in general, I'm interested in just bolting him here, and I think I'm going to do that, because I don't lose a whole lot. Best case scenario, we're drawing a fetch land. Because then I could put the bolt back on top. And now some sort of Snapcaster Cryptic combination would also be quite helpful. Brazen Bora. Okay. Another one of those fuckers. The good thing is we can still take a little bit of damage here. And he also doesn't have anything else to put in the air, I guess. So let's see. I'm gonna kill one. Here, a Cryptic Command would have been so great. Then we could Alpha Strike him. But it's gonna be 4, 5, 7 plus a potential bolt, I guess. But he's already got 2 bolts in the bin, so we shall see. Can prevent something from happening. Like this, for instance. Well, got their game won through superior intellect. Ashiok, I'm looking at you. Definitely also Kalitas. Potentially Grim Lava Mancer. So I probably want to get rid of all of these. How good is Cryptic Commands? Let's say he's gonna be able to... If he lands a Blood Moon, man, I'm so fucked. Maybe I need to keep the Brazen Boras for that reason. Yeah, I think I need to keep the Brazen Boras for that very reason. And then Grim Lava Mans, of course, can get rid of something like so Archmage's Charm's probably gonna go. That makes our mana a little leaner. Jigsaw Jailer is not great against young Pyromans and seasoned Pyromans, of course, but still he's playing with a lot. He doesn't have Faithless Looting though, so he has to hard cast most of the stuff that he's not discarding to seasoned Pyromancer. No, this does not appear to be great. Alright, let's stick with 2 Cryptics. Okay. So this, usually I would go and fetch for a basic swamp here, but on the one hand I want to have a card in the graveyard, on the other hand I want to have the ability at least to have a turn 2 logic not up, like in case he removes my Grim Lavamancer here. Which it doesn't do, which is weird. Alright, let's fetch for basics then. Yeah, sure. Getting these sweet points in there. So I think if he's gonna go with the Blood Moon here, I'm gonna let it resolve and just bounce it with the Brazen Borer. Then he can spend another turn. There's a Blood Moon. Alright. Island resolves. Petty theft. And fuck you. So I'm not gonna show him the other islands here, I think. Instead I'm gonna go with a water grave so that he is inclined to try the Blood Moon again, and so that he also thinks that we don't have a counterspell. That will give us a little bit of time. But here apparently he is trying to kill something. Potentially a K command. Okay. So since I'm trying to keep as much stuff in the graveyard as possible for my Grim Lavamancer, I'm just gonna go with one here. So I could put the Logic Now back on top. Yep. He doesn't know about my opt, of course. On top. Counter this. Shut up. Another Grim Lavamancer. Feels like that's not really where I want to be, but it's also not too bad. This one Grim Lavamancer has already been a better bolt, so that's not too bad either. Now this Inquisition is going to run into nothingness. And, well, I'm not going to counter anything here. I am going to get another card, and we do have a little bit of stuff on the battlefield. And somehow our opponent's hand seems to be somewhat clunky. Can't say no to an opt, I guess. Especially... Let's have a look first. How are we gonna have a look first? If he had removal spells, he would have already used them, right? So we're doing this. Cologon's. Reveler, Season Pyromancer, Veil. So for Reveler, I mean, he's got 2 cards. So currently this is a 6 mana spell. That will still take a little bit of time. So Cologon's command was actually anticipated correctly. Season Pyromancer is not a problem because of the Grum Lavamances. This thing is a little bit annoying. What are we gonna do here? Is the Bedlam Reveler gonna be irrelevant? Probably want to go after the removal, right? And he can go with his Season Pyromancer stuff. What a nail biter again. So at some points, of course, that might have, potentially I should have just looked for a Cryptic here, since we now can't get in on the ground anymore. Discard Liliana and Smiting Helix. Smiting Helix makes a whole lot of sense, I guess. Lightning Bolt. Something that I want. Alright. So you can get back the Snapcaster Mage. The Snapcaster. He's down to 8. But he will get at least 3 life off that Smiting Helix. But it all depends on what he's doing here right now. 8. Alright, he's doing that. Sure. So back to 11. What's the play, dude? What's the play? Could of course return and deal 2 damage to him. He's down to 9, 6, 3, double. Alright. I think we should be able to kill him here. What up, bitches? That makes it a 30-0, I think. Yeah, so despite being a little bit what's the negative on concentration? I don't know. Not concentrated in like one of the games where we're playing, I think the second or the third. I think I made 1 or 2 sloppy mistakes. But other than that, a pretty darn good league. Both Grixis with Jace's Prodigy and with Chronos look actually pretty good. We're back in the meta. I'm enjoying Modern a lot. And apparently we can beat anything, even John's, which is a horrible matchup. I'm not gonna lie. And yeah, so I hope you enjoyed yourself. This is going to be it for the weekend, of course, and I'm going to be back next weekend with either Grixis or Death in Texas. So have a great week, guys, and see you around.